All right, IT 380. This is the last lecture for the week, and I'm going to go through it quickly. And I know I've given you a lot of material, but I've grounded you out. I feel very comfortable moving forward into the coming weeks now that I've really hit all the major foundation points with you. So, this is lecture 5. So we had intro to the class, we introed learning science and human computer interaction. I gave you a 20-minute presentation on an educational technology study. And I then gave you an intro to UX research, which you're currently in starting up your own diamond, your own research phase of your project. And this video is going to cover these slides. It's going to cover this in-class assignment. It's going to cover the game that the assignment's on. And here's the posting for it. Then I'm going to cover the midpoint assignment that's due at the end of next week, the 13th. And I'm going to cover the sample, what it looks like. All right. So these lecture slides are from, so the only book we're using that I wasn't able to get PDF for is this game design development prototyping book by Gibson Bond. I don't have it with me right now. It's a very good book. I'd recommend, if this area really interests you, pick it up. But anyway, About Face and Interaction Design are two books about UX and interaction design we'll use later on. At least you have them for free. And we're going to be borrowing also from a third book, this game prototyping book that these are the slides. So this is his chapter 1 slides, thinking like a designer, and he goes over the basics of game design and what it means to be a game designer, and he does a few simple activities. And we're going to actually do this Bartok, this card game, just to kind of loosen you up, get a feel for play testing, get a feel for modifying an existing game, a simple game. And it's very good to play test and modify analog games, physical games, because they're really quick to build and test before you make the digital version of it. And so he goes through explaining it. I talked a lot about this iterative process, game design and educational software design. There's a lot of overlap. Prototyping. I'm just going to let you read through this at your own pace. And it kind of grounds you out from somebody with a different perspective from myself. And he's been, worked in the field for a long time. And there's a lot of good content in here. Talks about the point of prototyping, and even if you just want to be a game designer or a software designer, you really need to get your programming chops up, because building your own prototypes is going to be super important. The more that you can express yourself in your final medium, the easier it is to work and give your ideas off to the rest of the team to help you complete it. Feedback. There's a lot of empty slides in this version. So let's see, teaching games. I really wanted to get down to is, yes, the card game. Here we go. So this is the game design exercise I'm going to have you do. You're going to play the digital version of it, and then you're going to use a deck of cards at home and just modify the game. And if you're unable to have a deck of cards and you're unable to play test it with some family members or some friends, at least do a thought exercise and design it yourself. And this is not graded. It's just to warm you up and also teach you how to use the Canvas postings. All right, so the objective, you want to run out of cards first. The rules are everyone gets 5 cards. All the rest goes into a draw pile. You flip the top on the draw pile, and then people take turns, and you have to place a card on top of the draw pile. And your card must be the same number or suit of the card on the draw pile. If you cannot, you have to pull a card for the top from the deck that's down. And you want to be the first person that runs out of cards. And then this is what it looks like. All right, so I'll let you go through the rest of the slides, but here's the activity on that. Basically, it's coming from the same, you'll see the same text in the slides. So I want you to analyze the game, start thinking about critical thought on an exercise on evaluating, in this case, a game or an experience or a piece of technology, but critical thinking of the UX. Is it comfortable? Is there something that could be improved? Is it annoying? Is it easy to learn? Easy to remember? And then there's how to incrementally modify, iteratively test, and repeat until you get the successful modification. And then here is the game. The link is up on the canvas. So in this case, there's a 6 of diamonds. It's my turn. So I can do the ace, the 3, or the 4 of diamonds. I have 2 4s, so I'll drop a 4. Let's see. I don't have a jack. I don't have a club, so I got to pull. And a club. I got 2 kings, so I'll drop a king. Queen of hearts. I only have 1 heart. Oh, and 8 there. Drop that heart, and so on. And so you get the gist of the game. At least you can play it with the AI. And now get a deck of cards, come up with some rules, and play with a family member. Or play with yourself. You can also play all 4 sides. You just need a deck of cards. And if you do not even have a deck of cards, then at least go through it in a thought experiment and modify some rules. But once you're done, here's the activity posting. And I just want you to get used to how to do a posting here. So text, you can select some text, add a link to it. The one thing that always gets the students is the embed image. So later on, you need to build full postings with text, images, embedding images, links to external sites, and even your own videos that you'll probably put up on YouTube, and links to your itch.io prototype. But this embed image always gets somebody. Do not just put up links to PDFs or Google Drive docs. Nobody can review. It's really annoying to download and look at it. Your postings need to be complete in Canvas and easy to read, or else you'll get doctor points. I'll tell you to do it again. So when you want to put up an image that you have to go over to Canvas. And you have to select the folder that you're going to upload to, and then you have to upload a file. For example, I'll just upload this draw file, and then you select it, and then it'll show you the dimensions. Usually you don't want to be more than like 1800 pixels or whatever, because on the width or like 1500 1600 pixels is a nice size, and with height maybe 600 700 at most, and then it'll like fit nicely in the screen. So you click OK. That was actually height as the second parameter, but it's okay. So this one's a little longer because it's a diagram, but at least it looks good. And I'm press the enter key just to move it down. I'm just gonna put some text. Make sure the text in your images are kind of the same size as the text of your descriptions or what you're writing, and everything's very legible. Click post, review it, make sure it fits fine. If it doesn't, you can always edit your postings until the form's closed. So keep editing. Click on the image. And I think you can always change the dimensions. You want to scale it down. Oh, this is too long. Whatever. Scale it down. There you go. In this case, the legibility of it's not good. But you get it that you can change the size. Great. All right. I'm going to delete that. So now you know how to do your posting. Again, this posting is not graded, but I need you to understand how to make clean, concise, legible, easy to read postings that are not just like a PDF attached, and I got to download the PDF and open it. And everyone needs to go and look at each other and postings and provide feedback. So it needs to be all out in the open on Canvas and easy to read. Great. Wonderful. Let's go to the midpoint assignment that is due down here. All right, so this is the description of the assignment. You'll have a title at the top. These are the major sections. So you're going to have a section explain the purpose of the document, explain what you think the purpose of this document is so that you have a better understanding of the larger pipeline, the larger workflows that all these documents kind of plug into. You have an overview. So what are you thinking you're going to call your project? What platform you're going to build it for, which is going to be WebGL. What is the major subject? English. What it should be math, physics, chemistry. Then the sub-subject underneath that. So if it's English, it's grammar. If it's history, it's Civil War. If it's math, it's algebra, so on. And what the main focus is, like the core topic. So if it's Civil War that you're working on, then you're looking at the presidents, or maybe a president that was famous in Civil War, or a famous battle, or army logistics. If it's marine biology, you're looking at coral reef preservation. Anyway, you're trying to zoom down to something that's actually manageable. And you'll probably even scope a little further later on. But at least you're trying to get to a manageable chunk. And then the learning level, the age group, the grade level, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, college, whatever. Then what is your proposed software solution to this learning problem? So you kind of have identified an area, a focus area, and you're kind of doing it usually because you have experience in it. Oh, well, I went to 8th grade math, and I really like this, but I wish they presented it like that. I had ecology in 11th grade, and I really loved seeing the diagrams of the parts of the animals. But I think seeing the simulation of an animal, feeding would make me understand how his teeth works really better, or something like that. So briefly state, minimum 2 sentences, a software solution that you think would solve a learning problem for this learning level, for this focus. And this will definitely change, but at least it gives you a general direction. Be like, I think in a little simulation on just a pond and how much rainfall is coming down would support how much fish. You see how much fish and how big they're growing in the pond based on the rainfall would really help drive home the point to young students that each fish, each marine animal needs a certain amount of water to survive. And so the amount of water really impacts the amount of the population. So just give it a go. At least you're kind of giving yourself a general direction, orientating yourself on what you think you might make for the class. And it will definitely change, but at least it starts you somewhere. And then once you have an orientation of what you think you're going to do, let's start opening up that problem space. So go out there and start reviewing all the competing software solutions. You can also look at videos. You can look at websites. You can look at textbooks. You can look at physical-based activities, like packages of chemistry sets that you can buy, or Lego kits, or something that is also of a learning nature, but might not necessarily be a software. Just find some competitors and provide links to whatever you're reviewing, and give a description of this software, of this competing product or service or whatever. And then review them kind of aggregate and total. Look through them all. See what you liked and what you didn't like, what you would improve. Basically how you improved the Bardock card game. Think about how you would improve these competitors' software that you're reviewing. How would you make it more engaging? How would you make it more immersive or interactive? But you have to give a defined example, like, well, I really liked how this website presented a series of interactive videos on learning about tree growth in the Pacific Northwest, but I found the interface really clunky, and I got frustrated because I wanted to move past videos really fast, but it was kind of hard to find the buttons on the interface to move through the videos before they were done. So you're kind of explaining that the problem that you found the interface to be clunky, not as usable, and it kind of ruined your learning, your engagement, and then this is how you would fix it, right? Very much a constructive criticism. You always have to provide that advice because that gives you the direction for what you might do with your own project. So, and then here's the sample. So this is the Canid project. So we provided our high-level overview or what the point of this document is at the end of Sprint 1. We're only kind of getting to the midpoint, and this document is going to grow by the end point of Sprint 1, but here's the purpose. The overview has been filled out. Here's the title, the platform we're building to, the main subject, subsubject, the main focus, the learning level, the proposed solution just to orient us. We picked this for a reason. We thought that small children with ecology, we can really improve it and help them really appreciate the ecology, their local environments they're living in. As they grow older, they can help improve it. We really wish to help educate them better, and we think technology is a way to do that. And then here's the competitors. Here's the links to each one, a description of what this application, the software is, the features that are given to the user, what have you. And here's suggested improvements based on these competitors. All right, it says completed doc about 1 page and a quarter. All right, so probably your minimum of this is going to be a page. You're probably going to go over. So up to a page and a quarter, page and a half. All right, so that should be everything. And then we'll have this all filled out. We'll have the week 2, all the lectures filled out. We'll be moving into programming lectures, and we'll have the endpoint sample and assignment ready. And then we'll discuss how to drop the midpoint, how to give the feedback, and we'll move on to week 3, week 4, and we'll do our endpoint drop. All right, and then email me if you have any questions. And yes, the major lab times are done this week. But with everything, this should be very thorough. And the midpoint deliverable next week is just design. There's no programming. So I think you should be good, but just email me if you have additional questions. Thank you.